5 minutes ago or so, we'd go live. People would join up, and then
The
at
pre-show.
8:00 we'd really start,
We
and
like
I'd
to
chop off
pregame.
that first bit.
I
Give him
spent
a
way too long trying to get the right lighting because this light is right there. So anywhere I was sitting, I was like, "Bwong." I was like, no.
It's like the interrogation light right over you.
Yeah.
Well, Jack usually at least lets us know if he's going to be backed up.
Usually.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't been on Facebook today, has he? Oh, he was there 2 hours. Yeah, he posted something 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
No excuses then.
He'll show up unless he had another toilet explosion. Actual toilet.
I mean, either way.
Hi, Rita. Rita's always here.
And I'm sure Lawrence is there too.
Yep. Always.
Well,
So how
it is
cold
8
is it?
o'clock.
It is
So,
8 o'clock.
I'm just gonna get started and see where this
Roll it.
goes.
Texas Steampunk Connection coming to you live from various parts of Texas in our bunkers and airships and whatnot. I am Flavio as usual, and with me as always is Thax, the gentleman adventurer, and Jack from Steam Chest. And we have Master Blue Stocking. Say hello, guys.
Hey!
So once again, we are here to talk, probably about steampunk most likely, because that's what this is about. Thank you for listening to the Texas Steampunk Connection.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Good evening,
I
ladies
was
and
like,
gentlemen.
I'm not going to get to see him. That was going to be depressing.
I thought maybe you forgot
I
it
know,
was
right?
tonight.
No, I got busy doing other things, and I looked and got told, and yeah, I apologize.
Jack
I
has
know.
just
He's looking
joined us
sharp,
last
though.
minute, so we're very excited. We're all here for Monday nights, because tomorrow, Tuesday, is Halloween, and
Yay.
doorbells would keep us from recording anything. So we're here, Max, Jack, and Blue Stocking,
Yay.
to talk about last minute Halloween things. And we have the author Cheryl L-g Trent with us. She is a steampunk luminary in the Texas area for many years. A very good friend, and now an accomplished author with a number of different titles under her belt. She just went to print on one of them, and so we're excited to talk about that and just anything that comes to mind as usual. Yay!
I'm
Thank
all
you
for it.
for
Let's go.
joining us. What is going on this week? Well,
Yes.
Halloween.
Yay.
And the weather.
And the
weather.
weather.
Oh.
It's wonderful.
We just got a
Awful.
cold
Oh,
front.
I love it.
About 41 to 40 when you start.
At least we can wear jackets now.
I love it so much. I can wear my sweatshirts again. I'm very happy. Yeah. No. You know, the summer broke me when I am happy about it being cold.
Yes. That is so true.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sitting here thinking about going, yeah, all those people who just bought skimpy outfits for Halloween again are not going to have to wear jackets over them.
I'm
No,
always
because it
worried that
bounces.
I've got a costume. I'm not going to be able to wear it because I'll be so hot and sweaty and a mess.
Mhm.
Not this year.
That's why I like going to
I
Steampunk
just
November.
I just made someone an Oogie Boogie. And I told him, I was like, you need to get fans for inside. And he was like, oh, okay, whatever. But like, this man sweats just sitting in a room, you know? like, you're going to need fans. And we do a test drive on it and everything. And he's like, wow, that's really hot.
No
yes.
Well, and last year it was warm enough that I did my half-assed Ghostbuster costume with my overalls and my sleeveless t-shirt. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and the year before, you know, it bounces back and forth. You can't really, but 29 degrees tomorrow night is a little more than I was
Oh, I didn't know it was
expecting.
going to get that
Oh.
cold.
Up here
It's
it
not
is.
down here.
Yeah.
Up here it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Tonight it's getting down to 30. Tomorrow I think it's 29. Yeah.
29.
Yeah, and I'm up a little further
Yeah.
north in Texas right now. Not much, but yeah.
Yeah, it's getting chilly
Yeah.
up here. So
Oof.
yep.
It was in the 20s yesterday, so I'm not happy.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are having a much different experience than us Central Texas folks
Oh
are.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind though. I will take it over 115 degrees and no rain.
Yeah.
My skin is much happier. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's for sure.
So
Okay.
let's. Oh, is that a glass of wine in your hand, Blue Stocking?
It's the usual Stella Rosso.
In a back
Lambrusco.
glass.
Yes, yes. It's one of my Halloween glasses. And as I showed Thax earlier, I did dress up tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Because Miss Havisham is entirely too much. I wouldn't even fit on my little window. That costume is going to be massive. I'm going to be dragging around the library tomorrow. It's going to be amazing.
That'll be fun.
For those listening to the podcast later, Blue Stocking's wearing a sweatshirt that reads "Best Costume."
It's an orange sweatshirt, the best costume in black, and I flash dance the neck like I do with all my sweatshirts.
Get a shirt, first thing I do.
Yep, every sweatshirt I get. My husband's like, really? I'm like, yes.
Well, I discovered
reveals
when I
and
was
Yeah.
when I was sleeping that little collar was just enough to like press on my neck injury to like
Oh,
it should trigger it, and I was like, nope, it's gone. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Yep, they're gone.
and for those who are listening, Thax is a giant
Yeah,
taco.
taxes. Something.
yes,
I
that-
haven't figured it out yet.
It's a
That
taco.
costume that I talked about last year, not finishing. I had a whole year to finish it, and I'm like in the living room stitching last minute, of course, for tonight. So I've got a little.
Got it. It's a taco.
I mean,
we have a
There's a
dragon
little
taco.
demon with his own taco
Oh,
on my
excellent.
hat, which is
Yes.
a taco, and I'm wearing a waistcoat
Something.
and coat that are also taco.
So you're taco man.
Yes.
I'm
I
Admiral
want to
Taco.
be a taco man. I am a taco man. I had Mexican food today.
It'd only
I
be
made
better
killer
if you were wearing-
tacos yesterday.
My nachos look just like Thax's shirt.
I think I
Taco
got some of your
Tuesday, but
nachos
on
my
Monday.
shirt.
Every day is taco day. We have a counter on the side of our office that says how many days we've had since tacos. And it
Days
gets
since
depressing
taco?
when you start rolling around past day 5. You're like, nope, we got to stop that.
All right. Well, Jack, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking kind of a busted out the Tatcha tea.
Oh, that looked like a bottle of
So-
shampoo.
I know.
I was a little concerned.
Is it that bad? Okay. So what is that?
Alcohol and conditioner and all in one.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta.
No, it's a Czechoslovakian.
That's right. Yeah.
It is a vodka that's been brewed in teas from the heart of the Tatra Mountains. And this one is a 62% alcohol content. So it is
Wow.
the one of the most best cough syrup ever. And since I'm a little sick, this is actually stuff that when my brother was working in the oil field, he was doing some computer programming on some pump off controllers. And so they were over in Slovakia with the other half of the company that was doing the programming. And so he got the flu when he was over there for 2 weeks, and they don't have NyQuil or Dayquil or anything like that. They don't have anything like American medicine you can be able to pick up at a pharmacy. So someone told him to go, like, basically bought him these bottles of this Tatcha tea, and lo and behold, this stuff is enjoyable to drink while sick. And it still has that wonderful burn that goes down that clears your throat of anything. It feels this is what they would have to hose down like the spaceships to get rid of the xenomorphs. This would work.
Aw.
With a hint and flavor of blueberries and tea. Just a wonderful aroma. I love it.
I am intrigued, but also afraid.
I'll bring it with me. You can have some.
Okay.
You muted yourself.
Yep.
We couldn't hear you. The program just figured you're going to curse me out. So, like, nope.
Well, if y'all go down to Dickens, you should take that with you.
Yes, I would like to go to Dickens this year if I can pull it off.
They had
With a new job,
they had an advertisement. I don't know if you're aware, but they said that if you are doing charity, you get a free table. So look into that. I will not be down there this year, but yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting when it came across my feed.
I wonder if the charity counts as money to me. I need
that
charity.
was my question too, but I'm pretty sure you have to have a 501c or something like that.
Well, I'm actually working on with a group of individuals to get a 501c3 together. So we'll see how that goes. But I would be interesting to pull that over into this direction as well.
Yeah.
Shut up, phone. No one needs you. Nay. My ball and chain ended at 5.
Who's talking just told me she's having mic issues and she
Yeah,
might have to drop out and come back.
It just popped up and it said your mic has lost connection with your browser, which I don't understand because it's just a Logitech plug-in headset that I've used for 2 years. So
the driver died. It had to be restarted.
Hey, it's a Mac. That doesn't happen. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I know. When that happens, you throw it away because you know it's broken now. There's nothing you can do about it. Light it on fire. You got to draw the pentagram, light the candles, douse it in gasoline.
That's a regular night at my house.
Let
so,
the demon
Cheryl, what
help
are you
bring it
drinking?
back forth from which it came.
I'm not drinking anything. I had realized I did not grab my water, so
Oh no!
and I don't imbibe. I can't, but I am a tea aficionado, and I do enjoy alcohol. I just can't have it. So yeah,
Tea is always good.
Yeah.
Always a fan of tea.
Rita, one of our listeners, doesn't drink either. She is having a hot cocoa tonight, which is out of her regular pattern of just water.
It's the night for it.
Cocoa. It's hot water with chocolate in it.
Yes.
All right. Well, then, Thax, what weird beer do you have tonight?
Chocolate flavored.
I don't have a new one. I'm going over my last year's.
Do that what is it? The what is that Corona one with the not just the
What, like a Corona taco?
Corona taco.
It's kind of like that. It's weird.
No.
It's
with the tomato juice and clamato.
That's Clamato.
It's
that's
not
for
a
Bloody
tomato.
Marys.
Yeah, not the
It's actually
Clamato.
not bad.
No, Clamato's for beer.
Yeah.
That also, yes.
You can use it for red beer, I'm being told.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Thax, what you got?
Well, tonight I have a Firestone Cinnamon Dolce Nitro Stout.
That's a lot.
Dang.
Because
cinnamon dolce.
It's finally cold again, and I can drink darker, heavier
So
beers.
when you take a sip, you just go.
Essentially, it's more like a slice of beer. You just take a little slice, a little tiny, little spoon thing,
like beer pie,
kind of ladle it in, just kind of like Jello.
It's only 6%, so there's no way I'm going to compete with Lawrence tonight, who's got a Founders Imperial 12% bourbon barrel aged. He's living the life.
Lawrence goes for the nitro. He goes for the unleaded. I mean the leaded. Sorry, he goes for the heavily leaded beer.
Goes for the leaded beer. It's served in a leaded glass, so it tastes better. I have some of that. My mom actually has some of that.
Leaded glass.
Leaded glass.
Like, leaded beer. Your mom has leaded beer.
How's she doing?
Okay. She's right.
It's really entertaining, but kind of giggly these days. We got a little loop here.
Imagine that.
Wait, Jack, were you around for that when I discovered my Corral I was eating off was covered in lead and I got super pissed?
Yes,
no.
I was there for that.
Oh.
Well, not there, but I was around and I remember that story happening. That's lead.
That's lead.
What was it?
So I it's Corel. It's a form of dishware that is very hard to break, and I drop things a lot. And so I have just lived with Corel forever. But I had this particular print I like that I grew up with, and I found it at a thrift store, and I was using it, enjoying it, and having a grand time with it. And then it was like, oh, by the way, anything Corel that has the painting on it before 2000 is leaded. And I was like, that's what I need for my chronic illness, is to be imbibing lead.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
The good news is if it's after 2000, or if it's
okay.
not painted, it's fine. Okay. Which I did for one of my books, because in the book set in the 1970s, sure enough, the restaurant has Corel plates, and but they're just
not the ones with the lead paint on them.
Not the ones with the lead
paint on them.
Yeah,
that's just one of those little things you just slip in there for your Acthley character to like explain away. Like, we don't have that one because that one's got lead in it. It's just there's 3 lines you didn't have to write. It came from personal experience.
Yep.
Well, that's a great segue. Let's talk about your books. You have sort of a new one coming out, one going to print.
Yeah.
Whereas previously they were only digital.
Yes.
Digitally available.
Yes. All the books, including the one that's coming out on print, are accessible on what is called Kindle Vella. And it is a subscription, kind of like, it's not a subscription service, but it's a token-based serial fiction. And so you purchase tokens to purchase episodes, and you can get like 200 tokens for $2. Most episodes, when you go to read them, they're going to be between 8 to 10 tokens. And so as you're going through and you're reading the serial fiction, you can, you're not spending a lot. You usually spend about the same you would spend on a book, and you're getting to read something. If you catch it when it starts, you get to actually read it as it's coming out. So you can be right there on top of it, just like a TV show or something like that. Or then you can catch up on the backlog. You can, and you can read. My favorite part about the serial fiction is that they're 600 to 800, 8 to 10 tokens. It's usually about 100 words per token. So you're looking like to 800 to 1,000 words. So it's something real easy that you can pull up on your phone, read while you're waiting in the doctor's office, or while you're in between, taking that quick break or something like that. And it's really easy for you to be able to do that and not feel like, oh, I have to put down the book, I have to go find my page again, I have to go do this, and or getting interrupted because you get them in these. And I've always been a natural serial writer, like I write in scenes, and so it works really nice for me and gave me an excellent footing to be able to go ahead and put the first one I put on Kindle Vella, which is Daughter's Fortune, and put that on. It's now in print, in paperback, ebook. Yeah. Hi, Lexi.
And that's the one that's most recently gone to print. It's basically been converted into a novel from a serialized. Yes, it's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Tell us about this Daughter's Fortune.
So Daughter's Fortune, and the subtitle is not a pirate book. Anyone who's been around since the inception of this, when I would say, okay, I'm writing a book and it's on a boat, but it's not a pirate book. I'd have to preface it, especially around steampunks,
yeah, we're all like piracy.
Yeah, but it's not a pirate book. And it's follows a lady sea captain. Her name is Jeannot. And she is just trying to make it in a man's world, and she just enjoys doing her job and getting from point A to point B, and making sure her company stays afloat. She runs the company for her father, who had it before her. Obviously, there's that little hint that they come from a family of seagoers. This is just something they have always done. Jeannot herself was born on the sea, which we learned in the first 3 pages, and and so it's really enjoyable. And Jeannot accidentally gets involved in what most people would understand as the beginning of the Jacobean Rebellion.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's set in 1688, and it starts with the coup of James II by William and Mary. And so, but it's a really fascinating story. Like the more I like looked at it, and it like worked, it worked perfectly. Every time I go in and I try to research something for further editions of the book, or as I research for the book, like she just slipped right in there. Like she was perfect because she is Dutch. And you know, and King William is Dutch. William and Mary are actually he's the stadtholder of the Dutch Republic, and then he becomes the King of England, and that starts the 9-Year War. And the 9-Year War is when that starts the Jacobean Rebellion, as James tries to use King Louis to get back his throne, and he's never successful at it. So, and poor Jeannot is just stuck in the middle of it. The way I write her into the story is she's just off screen. She's, you know, it's like this is all going on, and you know, this is just off screen, and you know, her involvement and everything, and it just fits in there really nice. But she has obviously a possible love interest, and she has a motley crew. If you pay attention to the crew, you start to pick up on clues that they're not normal. And the second book is actually called Maybe a Pirate Book. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I actually have both book 1 and book 2 done.
And
book 2 is, go ahead.
Jack.
What? Someone
Jack?
say something?
Oh, it was like in book 3 would be like piracy? Question mark.
It's actually, the title's already created because I know where it's going, and it's definitely a privateer. And so that one's going to be a lot of fun. And that one actually expands out because book 1 and book 2, you follow along, and books with Jeannot mostly. And of course, the second main character, which is Roger. Roger is a member of the British Navy, and that's, you know, and they keep crossing paths. So that's kind of where that story, you know, that romance storyline comes along, and you get to figure out whether they can, you know, hook up or not. It is a slow burn. But I've been told it's quite enjoyable. My kid, Emil, those who know my kid, they are a aero ace, and they said that Jeannot and Roger are the only cishet couple that they actually enjoy reading. So, and Jeannot's technically bi, so you know.
You Aw.
But yeah, I did pretty good on that.
Awesome. Now, you list this and as well as your other books on your website,
Yes.
clgtrent.com. Is that the best place to buy it? How do people get a hold of the physical copy? Because I'm old fashioned and I want something in my hands.
Yes, absolutely. So you can go ahead and well, I actually have something I posted today. So I do have the ability, if you want to reach out to me directly, I do have the ability, if you want a signed copy, to reach out to me directly so that I can put that on my book order. And I have a signing coming up, so I was going to order those books as well, and then go from there if you want that directly. But if you want any of them, my favorite link for that right now is the Linktree one, which is I know I sent that to you, Fax, so you can put that one up.
Give me
because the CLG Trent has the Velas up right now, but we have not put the book access up right now. And that one you can get, because you can get it wide. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. I'm just about to make it available at Full Circle, which is the local bookstore here in Oklahoma City. And I'll be doing that as I, go to different events. I will also be trying to make sure I get those books out to those local bookstores as well. I also like to support indie, being an indie author. There are lots of indie bookstores that are popping up, and you can find the book also on a place called My Indie Books. You can find it on, should be on Bumblebee, and soon. And then there's one right now that even if you just type in Daughter's Fortune on Google, it pops up, and it's Wild Rumpus Books. And it's actually a kids book site. Like, But they do have the ability for my book to be available on there. I would say the age group on my book would definitely be teen or higher. It gets a little steamy. But the bonus is even with that little bit of steaminess, is CJ Peterson, who actually runs Texas Authors, a North Texas Authors printing company, I believe is the name of their printing company. She loved it. It's a Christian, and she's a Christian-based author, and she was like, I didn't mind the steam. It was fine, and I really enjoyed it. And so even Christian authors enjoy Daughter's Fortune. So even though I promise you, it is quite diverse and a lot of fun.
Awesome. Now, that of course is not your only book or story you are telling through these serialized entries. You've got like 4 of these stories going on. Is that right? Let's see.
6.
6. Oh, excuse me.
I just got 2 of them that are relatively new. So I am definitely, when people are like, what do you write? I tell them I am a Neil Gaiman type writer. I'm going to write what I enjoy. And, and then you decide what box that fits in, because it's not going to fit completely well in a box. So historical fiction, because I am a historian, I do a lot of that, and Daughter's Fortune would be considered a historical fiction, and book 1 and 2 is on novella. Then I have Medusa, which is the next one that'll be coming to print, hopefully by December. That one is what I call historical mythology. And it is the retelling of, I don't even call it a retelling, I call it a re-research version of Medusa. So I go back and I look at all the tales of Medusa, and I go in and I try to look at it not through the male gaze, not through a male lens. And I'm telling it through, and I tell it through her. And so you get to follow this character through the whole saga, and it's not just pinpointed on the trauma, but actually goes beyond that and pulls in all those stories. And I had a lot of fun with it, because Medusa is not just, like, she has so many different
She's
incarnations.
so much more. She's so
She
much
is.
more. Yeah.
She when I did the research, some of the research that I found, she has connections to old gods, and she has connections, there's some stories that she is an old god, and so I connect her to 2 that are kind of the same, and that is Metis. And Metis is the first wife of Zeus, and she's forgot about a lot, but she is the first wife, and technically, if you read the stories correctly, she is the mother of Athena. So, there's always these stories that Athena came from Zeus's brain, but it was Metis that did that to him. So she technically got him pregnant. So, and so I use that in the story, and you can see all that build in there. And that one I get, all of my stories, of course, I get rave reviews on. I get told that the characters are engaging. I get told that my favorite thing that I get told over and over again that I really enjoy is my stories don't drag. The pacing is always good. And that's something, that I pride myself on, is that my pacing is really good, and that my characters are well-rounded. And again, Emil's like, it's like, I like your female characters. They're a hot mess, but they're trying to get their shit together.
No, I'm digging on that. I am a big fan of reclaiming mythology, and and Medusa's, she's been done wrong.
Oh, so wrong.
So
well,
hard.
And that was the thing, is even as a kid, I was like, why in the world would the goddess of wisdom curse a woman for being raped?
Yep.
Well, why? Why?
That part of the story you don't really ever hear. All you hear is that she's the creature.
You don't actually even see it in the stuff that's there. You don't even see it in the stuff that exists, because I promise you, I have scoured. The only thing I haven't done is learn Greek and read ancient texts, you know.
Yeah.
And I have scoured, and that's just kind of there, and that's where I kind of twist it and do a retelling. And if you even look at the blurb, I talk about how beauty is the curse. And so, you know, so that's, and I really enjoy it. I mean, it was inspired by the Me Too movement, and she just came into her own. I really enjoy the one that went up on Vela, because I had written it and I felt like something was missing, and then I went in and hit it again, and it came out, and it was just like, this is it. This is what was missing. This is what's going on. And even Medusa's story, it's left with a little bit of, I can go back and do a book 2, which, you know, now involves the characters, and, you know, I've been playing around with what I'm going to do with that. So
very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I like that.
Jack, you're making.
You okay there, Jack?
Sounds with your face.
I'm just absorbing everything while on my cough medicine.
Oh, okay. Are there things running through the room now?
That's the historical mythology. And so I have historical fiction with Daughter's Fortune. I have historical mythology with Medusa. I do have a fantasy series on there that's called Karskanda, Strands of Aya. And I'm about to have the second book of that one go out. Karskanda is set in a complete fantasy world with slight magic. Priest magic is the focus. And that one's a lot of fun, because it really dives into notions, societal notions versus following your heart. And that's kind of the core of that. And the series is called Strands of Aya, and you'll see that more when it gets expanded a little more. And then that will take us over to the Faithful Universe series. And the Faithful Universe series, you can see the grin on my face. It is right now. It's got This Changes Everything, Rosemary's Garden, To Catch a Cat. I believe those are the 3 that are out for that one right now. And it is what I'm calling historical supernatural. So it takes the concept that, and using historical research of Fae, of the other, you know, our parallel society that's kind of like weaves in and out of us. And so it takes that and it tells you that story through history, but with that Fae element in it. And it follows different types of Fae. So you have This Changes Everything is a vampire story. Rosemary's Garden is, I call it a cozy mystery with nymphs. And I twist the concept on nymphs again too. I take that out of the male gaze. I take nymphs out of the male gaze as well. And re-look at them. Even with the vampires, every time I attach something, I'm just like, let's look at this from a different angle, just a little bit, you know, so you can follow it, but you can think of it from a different perspective. And then To Catch a Cat is a shifter series, which I thought I'd never do. I am not, I'm sorry, my werewolf lovers out there. I am not a werewolf fan, you know, especially shifter romances. I'm not.
Yeah, but, I don't.
Except I did crush hard on Merlot, you know, like when True Blood. Yeah. All about it. But
as
you do.
The only shifters I can, or the Sean McGuire's October Day series has the the shifter cats. That's about it.
Well, and that's what this is.
Yeah,
this is cats versus dogs.
These are the these are the case that she writes about. So yeah.
To Catch a Cat is the latest one in the series, and the one I'm doing right now, and it's set in 1930s Oklahoma. Okay. And so it's really cool, because when I did the research, it's like 1920s, 1930s Oklahoma was full of gangsters and Ku Klux Klan, and it was kind of a little bit wild still, and you know, and they're trying to modernize it. It was pretty crazy. There are even pictures where you can see straight up like what is that movie, gentlemen? Tell me that movie with the gangster movie.
Goodfellas, Godfather, Gangs
the
of
first
New York.
one, the big one.
Godfather?
No, not Godfather.
Goodfellas?
Wow.
Goodfellas. I think it's Goodfellas. Yeah, the Goodfellas. The knife one, and it's like, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. But like straight up, there's pictures of them in their trench coats with their Tommy guns, and this is the police of the 1930s. And so I was just busting up laughing researching it. But that one, the main characters are daughters of Epiphas, and Epiphas is a Greek town in what is now known as, well, and always was, but in Turkey. And so it's got this great little blending, and I used more of my ancient research. Amazons are actually from that area as well, and so I kind of weave that into the story. And so the daughters of Ephesus are also called followers of Artemis and the daughters of Amazonians. And so and the catch is that they're shapeshifters, that they can change into cats. So that's a lot of fun on that one.
Cool. Very cool. Now, let me ask you this, because obviously you seem to have a background in mythology. What is your background as far as amateur historian?
No, I have an actual degree.
I was trying to think how to say it where I don't sound like an asshole.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no, absolutely. I have a degree in ancient and medieval studies. So I studied, I studied all of that and dug way deep into it during my bachelor's. And then I have my master's mostly done. Obviously, that has been tabled forever. But my master's was focused on Native Americans and clothing history. And so that's, and Jack knows that, Yeah. So I tend to call myself a clothing historian, but I got a full-fledged degree. I can use those tools.
I love that. I actually, despite TWU's size, I actually know two medievalists, and they're both bananas. So
Oh yeah. My medieval professor, she was something.
yeah. We've got one professor and one student who's going through and finishing theirs. But yeah, no, it's hang on, I've got a cat attacking. Brax, get down. Get down. He's reaching over my chair and grabbing my headphone wires. Okay,
Well,
so yeah. No, I'm digging on the mythology. That is, it's one of my. I mythology and fairy tales and folk tales, taking them and flipping them around and giving these women agency. I love that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's my thing. That is definitely, if you were going to say what is Cheryl's style or anything like that, it would be, coming at these stories from a female gaze versus a male gaze from a different angle. And I wouldn't even say specifically female, because, I'm definitely a supporter and a cheerleader for all the quirky outsiders, being one myself, and so if you look on my bio, that's part of what I said. It's like, I support the outsiders and the interlopers and the invisible, because they tend to get forgotten. And my favorite character in one of my favorite characters in Daughter's Fortune is actually based around a character my kid created, and his name is Emmett. And Emmett is a trans man who ran away from home, ran away from an abusive father in Scotland, and ran to London and became a solicitor. Actually, he's not a solicitor. He is... And I've lost the word for the moment, and I apologize. But basically, he became a lawyer.
An advocate?
It's something a little different at the time period. I have the name correct in the book, but my brain is not doing it right now. And because he even says it, it's really funny. He's like, actually, I am. He's great, and he is so neurodivergent and just absolutely a treasure. I mean, and he causes half of Janot's problems. And
be a barrister or a solicitor.
Barrister, isn't it?
Barrister
British.
is, I could probably, let's see if I can find the episode.
Something Britishy.
Something Britishy.
Because you have to go up to you'd be at the.
Let's see.
that the thing at the top of stairs is
That's
that bar.
Banister.
Yeah, that's one reason they call that a
barrister.
A barrister. A barrister is the English term for a lawyer.
Yeah, no,
I learned this. I learned this while watching the Diaries. No.
Was it the British lawyer show that was there for like a very short time?
Well, I mean, you think I would have figured that out from watching Masterpiece my whole childhood.
I learned it from watching A Fish Called Wanda.
A Fish Called Wanda. I didn't even think about it in that.
Lex is over here going, that one!
It was Colin Firth's second Mr. Darcy. Bridget Jones.
Bridget Jones?
Yes, Bridget Jones. Yeah. So let me see here. I'm trying to see if I can find the episode. Because there's a hilarious episode. Is it in this one? It is in this one. Yeah. It's starting to get really difficult to remember where the story stops and goes. And let's see. Staying in town. There we go. It's got to be right here. Mr. Crumbs. That's his last name. See here. Too much salt water will kill you. And that's another fun thing. If you go through the book, all of the chaptered episodes, chapter titles are seagoing episodes. Seagoing words. I'm having a hard time wording. But breaking the flows and tacking, and there we go.
And Lawrence popped up the link for us.
Excellent.
Lawrence is our link meister.
Yes, if you're on Facebook, in the comments, Lawrence has got the link to Barnes and Noble.
That
we can do this, but that's almost meaningless at this moment.
The book
now it's on
is.
every channel.
Yes, and so also November 5th, which is important to the book, and actually historically important then as well, because Guy Fawkes Day already existed by 1688, and it was celebrated and talked about. November 5th is actually important in the book, and that is going to be the release of the hardback. So, and you can get the hardback in, you can get it like this, where the image is printed, if you order from Amazon. And then if you order from anywhere else, you will get the dust jacket. And so the dust jacket and the book itself will be a blue cloth, and it will have the title on the book, and then it'll have the dust jacket, and it gets extra art too. So lots of fun with that one. Yeah, it's really pretty. I'm excited.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Lawrence also liked the book cover. I'm assuming he means the art.
Well,
and yeah, tell us a little bit about that, because I know.
I mean, y'all know me enough. Y'all know who's on that picture.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's me.
Oh.
Well, I was more impressed with. Well, I was equally impressed with the boat that you are standing on.
That's awesome.
I have a great story about that. Do you know which boat I'm on?
Yes, I do. I'm hoping you would tell us about it.
Yes, I am standing on the Alyssa, which is actually from the 1800s and not 1600s. Jeannot actually pilots a Dutch flute, which was kind of like the sedan of the sea. It really was.
Minivan of the sea.
But I am on the Alyssa, and the costume I'm wearing, I made because I used my historical knowledge, and that's actually a time period that's really hard to get a time frame or get a extants to figure out what the style was. So it's really hard to find images of that early style, and it's really hard to figure it out. And of course, Jeannot's is a little different as well, because in the description in the book is that she has a jacket designed in the feminine form, but worn like a man's. And so, I had to kind of cross those two over, because we are in the pirate coat period. We are in the big flowy jackets and floating around, but the women are very, very tight fitting. And so that's kind of where I play around with that. And I even made sure, like, my striped skirt, which, Jack has seen a million times. It's from one of my steampunk outfits. But yeah, and I am on the Alyssa. When I showed up, I peeked my head in and I said, hey, I need to take some pictures for my book. Can I go ahead and do that? And, it's like, how much would it cost? And she just looks at me and she's like, oh, girl. And so, yeah, just go on. And it was the first time, it wasn't the first time I've been on the Alyssa, but it was definitely really enjoyable to walk around and take those pictures. And I have a whole collection, and you can actually see the design construction of this costume or any of my other costumes on my main TikTok, which is CLG Butterfly. And actually, I think this one is on my author one, which is the Cheryl L-g Trent. So if you type in Cheryl L-g Trent on TikTok, you can find all of those videos on there. And I have info videos on there for historical facts. I have narrations, little excerpts and things like that. I actually have the first chapter of Daughter's Fortune available on that TikTok because I didn't mention earlier, first 3 episodes on Kindle Vella for any of the stories is free. That's for anything on Kindle Vella. So it's really nice because you can basically test the book. You're like, oh, am I going to enjoy the story? Am I going to enjoy the writer? And you get to read those first 3 episodes and you go, okay, I want to go ahead and I want to figure out what's going on. And I can click that little box. So
okay, cool. Very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
For those that aren't familiar, the tall ship Alyssa is a active sailing ship that is in the port of Galveston. I don't know all the time, but I know it is.
That's its main port. Yeah, that's its home
port. Dickens on the Strand in December, and they have tours. You can go on and walk through the entire ship and see. And it's an active ship. It has an active crew, and it sails in and out of port. And I guess ships small cargo around. I have no idea.
So I know that they are part of the Tall Ships series, which is another event you can go to in Galveston. And the Tall Ships series is really cool because it's not just the Alyssa. You get a whole bunch of other ships that are that come in. And this year I missed it, and I was very sad I missed it because I had ended up I had already committed to something else. And I'm watching pictures because they had a Dutch flute there, and it was heartbroken. I literally came the weekend after, and they had to leave early because I was like, "Oh, if I get done with this, then I can go." And they're like, "No, they had to leave early." And I was like, "No."
I'm sorry.
But you can see, so you can see beautiful ships, and most of those ships run, and they do different things. The Alyssa specifically can do tours around the island. It can and it does sail regularly around the island, and actually has an open day on Thursdays, I believe, where you can go in and learn how to work the ship, and you can go and do different things like that. And that is a permanent installation there. So the Alyssa is, if it's in port, you can go in and take tours anytime. Doing it during Dickens is the best, though. So besides tall ships, because then there are lots of pretty ships.
Yeah. Okay, tell us a little about This Changes Everything. I'm not really big into vampires at this point. It seems like my whole adult life they've been regurgitated over and over.
I love vampires.
Okay, all right, you can. Make me love this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, first I have to put an 18 or over warning on this.
Oh, I love it even more.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Hold up. We have to go on this Texas Steampunk Connection After Dark.
Steampunk After Dark has started.
It is. It has
started
to be.
now. All children leave the room.
No children listen to this show.
And this is why I was laughing earlier, because the tagline for This Changes Everything is "This changes everything, not a typical vampire story. Introduction to the Faithful Universe," and it is erotica. It is like, it starts off with a bang and it doesn't stop, but all of the sex has importance. Like, it's not just like, oh, there's a sex scene and then we're going to get a little plot. Oh, there's a sex scene. No, it's like all intrinsically tied in together. My favorite reviews and comments on it, and you can look, it's probably my most commented on series in Kindle Vella, is that The relationship between the two main characters is luminous. I love saying that because it's just like warms my heart. And just the story is amazing. And I'm starting on book 2 of that one right now, season 2, book 2. And actually season 2 is up on Vella. So you can get through the first adventure. And the reason it's an introduction to the Faithful Universe is because it does start to open that door, and it gives you an idea. Vampire is the perfect introduction to a supernatural world because we kind of know what vampires are, and then we can kind of set the stage, and that's what it does. The main character, I never give away the main character's name when I talk about it because it is a funny part of the book. It is a great little thing in the book that happened when I was writing. I was even like, what's your name? And it ties in completely when I finally the character's name was finally revealed. My kid looked at me and goes, "That's very Faye of you." So yeah, and so it has, if you kind of know World of Darkness, you kind of know your basic vampire stuff, it follows that a little bit. It has a secret society type thing. It has factions. It has different things like that. But really, the first book, this book is focused on these two characters as they discover each other, and as they discover this new thing that they've accidentally done, and have to figure out how to get through it. And when I was writing yesterday, I have the Faithful Universe series. When I started putting it together, it's connected, even though it's individual stories. And the connection actually has to do with the concept of Age of Aquarius. And that is that if you know what the Age of Aquarius is that's this belief that there will be like a fifth age, if you play cyberpunk type thing or anything like that, this age that will bring us into a world of balance and enlightenment and peace and all that and everything. But my thing I remind everyone about is that birth is messy. And so the turning point in the Age of Aquarius, which if you read information right now, is literally right now. And this book is set right now. It is set right now. And so that is part of the importance of that book, and it's the catalyst for the post-apocalyptic book, which will be written in the future. And so, but when I was writing this, I was talking to my kid, and when I made this realization, my other kid, when I was talking to Kat, and it was a great quote. There we go. Her origin seems so random and incidental, but she could be the catalyst to the next stage. And so that's actually going to be the blurb to book 2. So
very cool. Let me ask you this. With all of these different series and ideas, is this a Cheryl L-g Trent, like tied together universe, kind of like with Stephen King, where it all there's
the Faithful Universe is for sure. The historical fiction, Daughter's Fortune, is not.
It doesn't tie in. Okay.
It is straight historical fiction. That is what it's focused on. And I thought about it. I tossed back and forth in Daughter's Fortune if she was going to be, fantastical or anything like that. But she is not. And then now I would say part of me wonders if Medusa is, because my kids beg for a modern Medusa. And
I mean, I dig it.
So it could be something that happens in the future. And it is, because it is a retelling and it's not specifically just, tied into the known historical mythology. So, yeah, that's a possibility on that one.
And I mean, the thing to always remember about that is that archives lie and don't always have. There's lacuna of information exists all over archives everywhere, and the people that got written about the most were the white men. So
absolutely, but
stories get lost.
Stories get lost. Yeah.
Cheryl, I feel like you and Blue Stocking are like right there of the same mind. Blue Stocking is an expert on
not an expert.
folklore and fairy tales.
Amateur. Very amateur. I like fairy tales and folklore.
Okay, first off, I heard you say you were a librarian.
Yes.
That counts.
I have my master's in library science from, I don't know why I'm pointing because y'all can't see TWU behind me, but it's back there.
That counts. I mean,
I have a thing that proves it. It's right there. You can't see it, but I know it's there.
No, my diplomas are out there in the hall, or out in the other room.
No, I
have a wanted poster right over there. If you don't believe me,
I don't look my nose down at all on amateur historians, because they are some of the ones that can find the most fascinating, and they can have some of the dogged dedication to discover and look at, and not be bogged down by bias that they've been fed as they've gone through all the training. So I mean, what is that the movie about the woman who found Henry, and I believe it was Henry, one of the Henrys, the Hunchback. She found the Hunchback, and she was
Richard, wasn't it?
Yeah, Richard.
It was Richard. Yeah. Under in the parking. Yeah, it was buried in the parking lot.
Yeah, in the parking lot.
Because Richard, it's England, and you dig things up all over the place.
But and 100%, because I have met some amazing historians that don't have a degree and deserve everything they have. I strongly believe also in living history, and that means learning from people that have been through it, and and taking that and passing that information on. So yeah, dude, you qualify.
Ooh. Wow.
This has been a great interview.
It's been a great interview.
I'm so thrilled that you were able to come and spend some time with us and tell us about these new projects you have coming up. Wow. Jack, you've been very quiet. Ask some questions.
I'm sorry. I've just been enjoying the conversation.
I miss you.
Miss you too.
Are you coming to Steampunk November at all?
Yeah.
I do not go to Steampunk November, and there are reasons.
Okay. Nope.
What about Dickens on the Strand? You brought that up.
I did bring that up.
I'm just wondering, how can we get you back into the steampunk community in a safe and comfortable way?
Galveston Steampunk Festival in Galveston on April.
Oh.
I am unfortunately out of Texas now, and even just being up in Oklahoma, that's like an 8-hour drive.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Then it's settled. We have to meet up, and we have to meet up in Wild Wild West Con.
Yes, not a bad idea.
Wait, when is that?
I do plan on doing the con circuit again. I promise. It's like 2024 is getting into the con circuit again, coming in as an author. I will be at Comic Palooza. And there shouldn't be any reason I won't be there presenting as an author and panelist, because I've been doing that for the past 8 years. So I will be at Comic Palooza for that. So we'll be down there. One of my kiddos is still down in Texas, so I'm going to do my best to try and move back and forth. But yeah, and the con circuit. I do want to do the con circuit, and Wild Wild West is on my radar. So
very cool.
Great. Cool. I'm excited for whatever happens next, and congratulations on this first novel, this series turned novel, and you've got apparently many more lined up. It's amazing.
Very prolific.
Well, that's the thing. Most writers are, and Bella just gave me the ability to like get it all out there, because it is such, and it's the time of the indie author. I don't know if you were even aware of like the influx and the ability that authors have now to be able to get their work out and not have to sit there and pray and wait that someone's going to publish it. And I was at a turning point for that, and my kid looked at me and they said, "It's your time. You've been taking care of everyone else. You've been putting yourself. You've been waiting. You have been a writer your whole life. It is your time." So I did, and it's been great. So awesome. I'm very excited. What are you laughing at?
Laughing at that.
In my mind, I just see your kid looking up at you and saying, "She is the Kazan Sanarak."
There is that.
For me, that's very nice. I don't even know if Emil would quite get that, but I get it. And I love it.
I think that's actually some of the things that we've shared the most of over our time just on Facebook is between you and me. It's nothing but Dune jokes most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm part of like Dune Siege posting, and it's just like
when people ask me who are my two favorite authors, it's Frank Herbert's Dune and Jane Austen. And I will say 100%, I'm also Sherlockian. I've probably just so much. But Jane Austen and Frank Herbert's Dune. Frank Herbert's Dune changed me as a teenager and definitely made me realize how powerful a story can be and ignite that.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can wrap up tonight. This has been a great conversation. And tomorrow is Halloween. Everybody go out and enjoy or stay in and give out candy or whatever you're going to do.
Both.
Both is good. Both.
Have a great time. Be safe. And we will be back in 2 weeks, back to regular Tuesdays. Does anybody have anything else to add before? You know what? I need to thank all of our patrons. I am not queued up with this at all. Hold on a second.
And those signed copies. I need stock.
That's right. You need to sell signed copies so you can get more money, so you can buy more books, so you can sign more
that's
copies.
An independent author. Is you are your publisher, your marketer, your everything, and it is definitely challenging.
All the more reason to check out Cheryl's series of books, including the smutty one, and buy to your heart's
content. Good smut.
All right. Texas Steampunk Connection is supported in part by J.R. Seeger's A School for the Great Game. Edwardian teen Elizabeth Bancroft resents being sent to a finishing school in India. The college is, in fact, the British India School for Spies, teaching the family business of espionage, martial arts, and the Tibetan mystic arts. The School for the Great Game is the first in the Steampunk Garage series available on Amazon. We are also supported by Fair Treasures. Fair Treasures has a selection of Texas-made female-presenting costumes and accessories for steampunk and Renaissance wear, and one-of-a-kind imported jewelry. You can shop Fair Treasures at fairtreasures.com, fair spelled with an E, or on Etsy. And Kitty is in the audience tonight, so thank you, Kitty. Also, we are on Patreon. You can become one of our members on Patreon and buy us a beer or look into one of our other levels. Tonight, our patrons, Jenny and Ryan Shaver, are helping us out. Thank you very much. And a certified aeronaut, Natalie McTavish. Thank you. And a generous grant from the crew of the airship Aberfeldy, Rita, and Lawrence Allen. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm going to hand this over to Flavio and let him take us out. Have a good night, everybody. Be safe.
Night. Happy Halloween.
So, once again, thank you for listening. You can find us again on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection for any comments, questions, suggestions. If you know of something happening steampunk that's happening soon, we can put it on our calendar, on our Patreon, as well as the list of over 100 comics and graphic novels, steampunk and Weird West related.
You can also email us at texassteampunkconnection@gmail.com. And we're a streaming podcast, texassteampunkconnection.podbean.com.
And if you lose it on Facebook and you want to watch a rerun of this show at any point in time on YouTube, you can go find them on Steam Chest.
And although we've made many, many jokes about Twitter, you can look for us at TX Steam Connect 1 on Twitter.
I never use it. I never look at it. I don't know. I don't understand Twitter. Yeah, so once again, thank you very much. And until next time, mind your gauges.
Mind your gauges.